Hey YouTube, welcome back. It's Chucks here, DIY and projects. This is one of my projects. I've just bought this off, I think you can get them off AliExpress, but you can also get them off eBay. Comes with a USB connector, fuse connectors for your 3.3 volts, your 5 volts, your 12 volts, and your negative 12 volt lines, and a switch to turn it on and off. Now, only thing it doesn't come with, some sort of box to put it in, but I'm sure if I look on Thingiverse, I'll find something. But that's not the point. At the moment, I've got this here, and I want to check if this is any good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in to the board. I'll plug some power into it, and we'll get the multimeter and see what it does. So keep watching. I've turned it on the Superflower, which were a good power supply at one stage. Well, not the best, but they were pretty good. And you can turn on the switch, and once you turn the switch on, it should be powering up. But for some reason, it didn't power up. Okay. That's not good. Not happy with that. That should just power up. What's going on? Okay, let's try it one more time. Okay, so it's not actually charging, or we're going to have to check the fuses, of course. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try another one to see what the difference is. I'm not too happy with that. Turn the power off to that. And this one's well, same type of power supply, but with a smaller fan. All switch modes. So let's have a look. What do we got? This one will go all the way in. Okay, we're going to plug it onto here. Well, you can see that. I need to keep this with something underneath it, because if there's any metal on the bench, it will blow. Power is on already, so if we switch it on. Okay, so that power supply there is pretty well stuffed, as I see it, because it should have picked up that it was, but it might be just the connector. We'll give it another try in a minute. But this one here, does it have all the voltages? Okay, let's put the voltages up here, and let's see if I can zoom in on the voltages, not on the device itself, for you guys. There you go. What have we got in the first one? We have 11.6, so that should be 12, so it's a little bit low but usable. Okay, the 12 volt line is 12.3, so there's probably a pot in there that could be adjusted to bring it to about 12, both of them, but we're not going to do that today. That is 5 point, correction, the things back to front. Okay, what do you got? I've got 5.1, so that's good. And I have 3.4. Okay, there is another switch on the side. I'll bring it in and show you. There's a couple of switches on the side of this thing where you could get power off it. So you've got a 12 volt line here, another 12 volt line there. That one has 4 pins, that has 3 pins. One's called channel 1 and the other one's called channel 2. So not 100% sure why they've done that. I'm not 100% sure if this would actually pull the full power. Let's try and not touch anything, but no. Okay, nothing there. So there's 12 volts there, nothing there, nothing there. So there's only 12 volts between the second pin and the last pin. Try it again on this one. Volts there, nothing on the second one, nothing on there. So there's only the last two pins that has any voltage on those two, and then you've got a power supply coming out, which is your USB connector. So everything else is fine. So that power supply is fine, so I can just write on that works. So this is a handy device to have if you are doing a lot of power supply type stuff, batteries. You can use it for a multitude of things. It has all your outputs there. You could make up a different circuit board to connect to it. So you could use as some sort of power supply. The only problem with power supplies, using these power supplies as a power supply, you'll have a lot of ripple on the earth line, and maybe even on the DC lines because of the switch mode effect. The only way to get rid of it is put a decent capacitor between earth and the power line, a couple of them, to filter it out, but it starts getting costly anyway. But nowadays capacitors are pretty cheap. So if I switch it off there, it should just switch off, and yeah, it did. This one actually has a decent turn off switch, so I'm happy with that. So take this one off if I can get it out. Very tight. So that one's over there. I've got another one here, similar to the flower, but it's a thermal take one, and we'll see if I can fit this to it and see what we've got. Yeah. Sure with yeah, it's complete. See, the other one was the older type where you could connect it to either or, the old type or the new type. So we've got it plugged in there, plug in the back, and the switch is on. Switch it on. Listen to that fan. Now that's a thermal take fan. I'll just bring you up. You can't even hear it. It's good. Thermal take. Now the voltage is on this one. You can get hold of the thermal take one. You're looking at voltages in the range of 17 amps on the plus 12, 15 on the plus 5, minus you got 0.3, and 3.3 is 18 volts. Not a great thing for this one, but handy for small projects, as long as you're not going over like so many like TP 40 56s. So that's reading at around about 11.42, 12 volts. Is that? Oh, that's positive. I've got it on back to front. Only problem with this, I'll put them on back to front. So the other one was actually negative 11.42. That's 12 volts. Now what's going on here? Okay, it's 5.22 and 3.37. So I'm pretty happy with that. So there's two power supplies that worked and one that didn't. So straight away you see that device, which is only about, I don't know, $13 on eBay or AliExpress, or around about $10 US, is a handy device to have around the shed, because if you need a power supply quick, you've got one. You don't have to stuff around cutting wires or doing anything like that. You've got it there to use, and when you don't want to use it, you switch it off and it's finished. So Anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe and ring that bell.